Hey Explorers, Kid Explorer here, and today I am here for my annual video about hot travel destinations for solo travelers in 2024. So in this video, I'm going to give you my recommendations for solo travel for the new year. I'm going to talk about both destinations within the United States and of course outside of the United States. So let's get into today's video. And before we do, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when all of my videos are released. Here on my channel, I talk about all things travel and sustainability. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Now let's get into today's video. All right, so before we get into each of these destinations, I want to mention to you that I have been to each of these destinations, so I'm not going to just tell you these destinations, throw them out at you, and I have embedded them myself. So the first destination on this list is actually in Travel + Leisure's magazine for a place to visit in 2024, which is Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland is actually my hometown, and I was very surprised and amazed when I saw this city on the list of places to visit in Travel + Leisure. And I'll have that article linked down below if you're interested in reading it. So Cleveland will have some major events in the city next year, such as the women's Final Four tournament for NCAA basketball, and also one of the eclipses is going over Cleveland on April 8th, actually the day after my birthday. And so that will be a great place to go view it if you're interested in seeing the eclipse. They will have other events throughout the year as well, but there's plenty of activities that go on in Cleveland throughout the year, or things to do while you're in the city. So mind you, Cleveland is based right off of one of the Great Lakes, which is Lake Erie. So if you're interested in some nice maritime exploration, you can definitely take different cruises or just go look out at the lake, which is a great experience. You can also visit beaches along the lake in Cleveland. So you can go out to the pier downtown, you can look over the lake. I believe they have a sand volleyball court up there. And also there's a Cleveland sign, so you can take some wonderful photos with the lake in the background or downtown Cleveland. There's also a variety of restaurants in Cleveland, such as your Black-owned restaurants, there's your Top Chef style restaurants, there's your Italian restaurants. I saw a New Orleans style restaurant recently. So there's plenty of things to do when it comes to food. And not to mention, Pier West is great for brunch. I haven't been there in a long time and I went for dinner, but my family goes to Pier West a lot for brunch. So you could definitely find a lot of things to do. If you're there during the summertime, look up special activities such as in June, they have the Parade on the Circle, which is a wonderful activity for the entire family at University Circle. There's a lot of different museums, such as the History Museum, there's a Children's Museum, there's an Art Museum, you have the Botanical Gardens, there's a zoo. Just a lot of different things to do for solo and family travelers. So definitely consider Cleveland on your list of places to visit in 2024. Now, another awesome place to visit in the US is Portland, Oregon. So you could check out my video to see all of what's happening in Portland from when I went from my house sit. But Portland definitely offers something for any type of person if you go there. So you can go there and go and do some little bit of shopping. You can go try out tea. You can go to various different vineyards because there's a wine country out in Oregon, magnificent wines. You can go and do some food cart tours. Not to mention the Columbia River flows right through Portland, so you can also get some water activities as well. They have Saturday market. They have a lot of different things for you to explore and have a little more of a relaxed vibe right in Portland, Oregon. It was safe for me to visit. There is apparently a homeless situation in Portland, but I never felt disturbed. I think some people are who live there based on just the nature of the event or nature of the media and publicizing, but I never felt any issue with homeless people. But there's a homeless problem pretty much in every city in the United States, in my opinion, or at least from what I've seen. So that is something to be aware of. Is that something that you can't handle? And maybe it's not the place for you. But otherwise, I went there solo, had a great time, and never had an issue while in Portland, Oregon. Now let's step outside the United States and talk about Aruba. Aruba is a wonderful island closer to South America. Like when I say closer, Venezuela is like right across the little strip of ocean. You can actually see part of it if you are there on a clear day. Aruba is amazing, the one happy island. You will be happy when you go there. People want you to come visit and actually relax. Don't jam pack your schedule when you're in Aruba. But in Aruba, it is a desert. The island is a desert, which is crazy because it's surrounded by an ocean. When you go to Aruba, you can experience desert activities such as going off-roading in the desert. But then you can also experience time at the beach and just have wonderful ocean water while relaxing and drinking something amazing on the beach. You can also go up to have dinner near the lighthouse, where you can actually oversee Aruba if you're there during the daytime. And the food is actually amazing. So you can get a lot of outdoor activities. You can go to different neighborhoods of Aruba, and you can explore pretty much the entire country the whole time you're there if you would like. So it's definitely a great place to go. I went there as a solo traveler for my birthday in 2023, and I had a great experience. Everyone was very friendly, and I had a great time doing all types of things, from eating down in St. Nicholas, from staying at the Renaissance Wind Creek, the Courtyard Marriott in Aruba, going to different beaches like Baby Beach, going out to Renaissance Island. They have plenty of casinos. I'm not a big casino person, but they have plenty there for tourists to enjoy. So there's a lot of different things to do, from horseback riding to checking out the owl farms. Just so much. I can just keep going and going. So Aruba is a great place to check out solo. You don't have to wait for someone to go to Aruba. Next up, let's talk about France. So if you have been noticing on my channel, I've started releasing various videos from a long trip to France. I have been to France now 3 times, 3rd time in Paris, but this was the first time I actually explored outside of Paris. Everywhere I went in France, I had an amazing experience. I didn't have any issues of microaggressions or anything of that nature, but obviously everyone has their own experience when they go to any place around the globe. You can experience microaggressions or racism in any country, especially here at home in the US. So definitely take note of those experiences so you can be aware of them when you go to any place. It's definitely important to hear people's perspectives so you can understand what's happening in that culture before you go. With that said, France was a great experience. It has always been a great experience to me as a solo traveler. I have gotten on trains and planes and Ubers, walking around the streets of France, and never had a safety issue or threat towards me. While in France, there is so many different things to do. Obviously, Paris is a great place to visit. There's a lot to do and actually can be overwhelming with the amount of things to do. Obviously, if you've never been, get your usual suspects out the way. Maybe take the hop on, hop off bus so you can see the usual suspects like the Arc de Triomphe and Eiffel Tower. Go to the Louvre, whatever it may be. But try to indulge in some other activities, like maybe a cooking class, or go on Airbnb experiences and see what's there that you may like to do. Try to get outside of Paris and go to Lyon or go to south of France, like in Marseille or Nice. Try to visit smaller towns in France. Everywhere you're gonna have a different experience, but it was a great one for me. Also, the Olympics is coming up in Paris, France in 2024 during the summertime. So if you're interested in seeing the Olympics, this is a great place to visit. Obviously, you probably need to book something now if it isn't already booked out. Also, it may be very expensive during the Olympics because it's the Olympics. The city's gonna be on the international stage, but it will definitely be cool to see the Olympics during summer 2024 in Paris. The last country I want to bring up is Australia. I also saw this country, I believe, on the travel and leisure list for 2024. And I was like, I haven't been to Australia since 2017, I believe, or 2018. I don't know, 1 or 2 years. It's definitely a country that has always stood out because the country has so many different landscapes, kind of like the US, where you can explore different parts of the country. So you can go to the outback and go and do some more of your desert area. You may see some of the Aboriginal people experiencing their local culture and their local climate. By the way, if you do see Aboriginal people, don't take pictures like they're a dog or something like that. They are people living there on their actual land, okay? They actually have signs up in their neighborhoods to not take pictures of them. So be respectful of people and the culture, but also you can do different things of going in the outback, such as doing an all-wheel drive tour or something. Now, from the outback, you can always go to Sydney. Sydney is usually one of the main entry points into the country. And of course, that's a city, but you also need to see the Opera House. Maybe actually go see a performance at the Opera House. Go to the harbor. Make sure you check out that fish market, which has amazing seafood. And you get to see the interactions and the activity of how the fish is coming in and the people and the locals interacting at the fish market. But you also may run into tourists at the fish market as well. But from Sydney, you can go to Melbourne, you can go up to Cairns. And when you go to Cairns, you can actually go out and get connections to go to the Great Barrier Reef and just so many different things you can do in Australia and have an amazing time there. Australia is a place that you definitely need at least a week to visit because it's gonna take you a while to fly there if you're coming from the US. And there's a lot of different things to see and do while you're there. So you don't wanna be rushed and you don't wanna fly that long distance and stay there for just a few days. That would just be a waste of your time, money, and emissions, okay? In Australia, as a solo traveler, I, again, didn't have any issues while I was there. I had a great experience there. Australia is worth the visit in 2024. Now, the last thing I want to mention, which is not a country or not a place in the US, it is a cruise. So it could be an ocean liner cruise or a river cruise. And I recently went on a river cruise in France, and I'm not a big cruiser. I do not really care for the ocean liners because you're sailing a lot. That's just not me. I love the river cruise because you are not sailing as much and you're actually spending more time in the local culture. So you're docked and you're able to get on and off the boat and enjoy the city that you're docked in as you please, or go on tours in that city with the locals as you please. So that is one thing I really enjoyed about the river cruise, is really getting more into the French culture while I was on it and actually seeing those places. Whereas the ocean liner, you don't really have as much flexibility with that, and you're not always docked, not always able to get on and off the boat. But as a solo traveler, the river cruise, you need to pick the right one to go on because there may be a population of people that you don't want to go on. So if you're in my age group, in my demographic, some of those cruises are like retired people. No offense, but you don't want to go on the wrong cruise. That's why it's like, look it up, see who's going to be hosting the cruise, like the wine vintner or something like that, who's going to be hosting, or what's the theme of the cruise, who the cruise is being advertised to if you're looking at a river cruise. Now, I also know there's ocean liners out there that host adult-only cruises, which will be great for a solo traveler as myself. I have not been on one, and so I'm not going to mention any cruise lines because I'm not going to recommend something I haven't done. But that's something definitely you could research, is if you want to do a cruise and you don't want to really think about the stops and the planning or anything like that, and you want your transportation and your room with you the whole time, look at a river cruise or an adult-only ocean liner cruise and enjoy as you please. And then come back and tell me what cruise you took. So let's recap these hot travel destinations for solo travelers in 2024. So in the US, Portland, Oregon, and Cleveland, Ohio. Outside of the US, check out Australia, France, and Aruba. And then lastly, check out a river cruise or an ocean liner cruise for solo travelers. So if you enjoyed these recommendations, please hit that like button. Please let me know in the comments below what your travel destinations or plans are going to be in 2024. I would love to hear them. Also, make sure you share this video with your friends, family, and social media networks. And make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. It is free for you to do so and helps me provide more and better content to you in the future. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And lastly, certainly not least, make sure you check out my merchandise store down below to help support my small business even further. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day or night wherever in the world you are. Bye.